Ladies and gents, this one card, yes, one card just changed Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. Holy smokes, we're in for Tier 0 format. And ladies and gents, welcome to the Year of the Fire. Everything changed when the Fire Nations attack. Bonfire, bonfire, bonfire! In today's video, we focusing on the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG and the new meta that's gonna be coming up when it comes to this terrifying and most electrifying 2024 in Yu-Gi-Oh! We talked about Phantom Nightmare. Phantom Nightmare is absolutely insane. New support, new decks are gonna be coming out, and it's gonna be taking over the TCG. And most importantly, the Year of the Fire is here. And today I got you guys here to talk to you guys about all things new when it comes to Phantom Nightmare, and talk to you guys about the new age of fire. You know what I'm saying? New era of fire here for the TCG. So without further ado, sit back, relax. We're chilling in today's video. We're talking to you guys all things fire when it comes to new Fire Kings and new Snake Eyes. Showcase you guys an exclusive deck list, and most importantly, important combos that you guys must utilize when it comes to playing Year of the Fire. So guys, without further ado, let's get it! All right, guys, I got one of the best players in the entire world in this room with me.
Yo, what's up, Sam? How are you?
Listen, bro, I'm doing absolutely amazing. We're here to learn today. Us and Team Samurai, we're here to learn from you. And we need to take a deep dive into what's the next meta, you know, here for Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. You know what I'm saying? Okay, bro, quick.
Yes, sir.
One question. What two attributes has been the most dominant attributes of all time? If you were to come on top of your head.
Historically has always been light decks and dark decks. Like
light and darks.
You know, the chaos archetypes has always been outperforming in Yu-Gi-Oh! Since modern day.
But right now, 2024, what's gonna change, Pac?
You have to be playing a fire deck, or you're just like, it's fire or bust, bro. Fire or bust.
Okay, so what happens if I decide in 2024 to play Mystios in my deck? Like, what happens?
Bro, like, you know, you don't have to play the main event. It's fine. You can play the side events. Like, they're accepting applicants, you know? Like, if you're looking to, you know, not perform at the main event, that's fine. Like, it's just, they gotta, dude, on No Troll, they gotta sprint fire Bystials, bro. Like, right now, it is going crazy. It's
looking down bad in the future because, you know, we need something like this.
Yes, you're gonna have to play a fire deck just because of the new support that, you know, you've all seen. The new cards that are coming out, guys. The fire decks are on a whole nother level. It's not even fair. Like, I don't even, if I don't got fire cards in my deck, I will not be at the event. Like, I hope you guys know that.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So obviously, guys, today is February 2nd. If you guys are watching this video, that means tomorrow is the sneak peek for Phantom Nightmare. So you guys will be able to get a chance to get some new cards in that set, which is literally one of the most revolutionary sets of all time for the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG. We briefly talked about the impact of what Phantom Nightmare had in our tier list video, but today we're gonna take a little deep dive into it and talk about some new cards that are coming out of Phantom Nightmare, which is gonna change Yu-Gi-Oh! Entirely forever. And Pac's gonna help us break it down. So, Pac, what's the first card you want to talk about in Phantom Nightmare that literally changes the game forever? Like one single card. What card is it?
Right. I think people would naturally gravitate towards Promethean Princess, which is a very, very strong Link 3 that's coming out. But if I had to pick a singular card out of this entire set of Phantom Nightmare, it has to be Snake Eye Populous. That card literally revolutionized, like, it just changed the game, bro. That card is insane.
Pac, for the players that don't know what this card is, what does this card do?
Right. So if this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can activate the effect to allow you to summon this card from the hand for free. So it's an extender if you were to search it, which, surprise, surprise, there's a lot of cards that will search this card. And then if this card is normal or special summon, you're able to add a Snake Eye spell or trap directly from your deck to your hand. And then the last effect, which doesn't seem that strong at the moment, but it has a lot of really cool synergies, is when this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a fire monster in your graveyard and put it in the spell and trap zone. So it doesn't have to be itself, which is the biggest misconception I've seen when people have began to like test this deck out. And that effect is really, really strong, and we'll explain how that comes up when we get to like the combo video.
Why is this card powerful though? Like, why does this card single-handedly changed the entire
Right.
format of Yu-Gi-Oh. How has this card affected the OCG, Pac? Like, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so in the OCG, which is a really good reference points for us, you know, it's not a one-to-one match per se, but the OCG has always been really helpful at helping us determine our metas and, you know, giving us some insight. The first thing I saw is when you check, like, you know, websites like Road of the King or Meta Duelist, shout to Nash, you'll see very quickly that decks like Labyrinth have fallen out of favor. And the two decks that have been primarily dominating the OCG scene in China and Japan has been the Sinful Snake Eye deck, like the Pure Snake Eye deck, or the Fire King deck. And then in third place, you have like the Rescue deck, right? Utilizing the Populous cards. But if you look at the top 3 decks of the game in the OCG, you'll see that it's all fire-related decks and some version of Snake Eyes, some version of Fire Kings, or some version of Rescue. And they're taking like 50% of like top cut at a minimum.
And there's a new small
Right.
card coming out called Bonfire as well, right, Pac? How does Bonfire
Yes.
make Snake Eyes Populous amazing?
So Bonfire, which was released in a Maze of Millennia, like you know, a couple weeks before. So I hope you guys have gotten access to your bonfires already. If you haven't, that adds any pyro level 4 or lower from your deck to hand. And surprise, surprise, Populous is a pyro monster. And you know, Populous is nice not only because it's searchable and able to summon itself from the hand for free as an extender. You can also start your entire combo line with just normal summon Populous. So it's like a it's a, you know, some people would consider it a brick because, you know, it's a card that you want to grab off like your Rhoda spells or like your, you know, your search spells. But the fact that it's also functions just by committing your normal summon to it is also insane in my opinion, right? So there's no true Garnet in your deck as a result, or no true brick. Like the fact that it combos when it's search or it combos when you commit the normal is like insane in my opinion.
Wow, so this card, like a whole 3-in-1 effect, makes all
Yes.
fire decks absolutely insane. So Bonfire, you want to add this card directly from the deck to hand. Also Snake Eye Ash also adds Populous to their hand. So basically,
Yes.
like, your entire combo is getting to Populous, and if you're able to resolve Populous, you basically have how many resources, Pac? Like what does this
Yeah.
card generate like on its own?
It's literally like I think like a +5 in like card economy, I believe, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say that. Like you can start with this one card in your hand and end your end your turn with like 5 more cards, like whether that's in the hand, the field, or even graveyard interactions. Because honestly, we've gotten to a point where Yu-Gi-Oh has evolved where like your graveyard is like an extension of your hand, almost, right? Because you know, like your follow-up, like the fact that this card searches original Sinful Spoils, and the original Sinful Spoils can recycle the Populous back in your deck and then adds another copy of Populous. Yes.
That is crazy.
Like it's absolutely absurd. Like the original has historically in current TCG has been used to put back the witch, the black witch, the Demon
Yes.
Star witch.
Yes.
But if you read the original again, it can actually put back Snake Eye monsters as well.
That's
so
crazy.
the fact that like you play like, that's why most people play 2 Populous, because you use one for the starting combo, then you recycle one back and then add the other one, and then you're just like literally infinite Tsukiyomi your opponent, like just, you know, plus every turn, and like there's like, you know, opponent just starts conceding at some point when they're down 20 cards, you know.
Okay, so
The card's really strong.
and you mentioned Promethean Princess, right? What does she do?
Yes, Promethean Princess is a Link 3, and it's a generic Link 3 fire monster that can actually be made with non-fire monsters. That's actually very important to take into account, because you can actually easily access her with any charmer, right? So like, let's say you make the Dark Charmer because you turn one of your level 1 fire monsters into a Karibo, which gives you access to, like, for instance, the Dark Charmer, Dark. You can take your opponent's Karibo, take your opponent's DD Crow, whatever you need to, and then make it. So she's a generic Link 3. That's the first thing you need to take into consideration. And she has a restriction. Her restriction is that when she is on the field, she locks you into only fire monsters. But when she's off the field, the lock and the restriction no longer applies. That, in my opinion, is absurd, because you're playing a fire deck, but you're not actually locked into fires, which allows you to get access to the best parts of the extra decks, like access code, right? Like cards like, I don't know, Celine to access code into Appaloosa. Like there's a lot of really strong extra deck cards that you would want to utilize. I think that's like really, really neat. Her effect is an ignition effect, which means that you can activate it at any open game state, which allows you to non-target bring back any fire monster from your graveyard. That interaction is really clean, because let's say you play cards like Circle of the Fire King, you can go activate Chillink 1, Promethean Princess to Reborn, your opponent chains Veiler, you can chain Circle of the Fire King, which destroys the Promethean Princess on the board to dodge the Veiler, brings back another fire monster in your graveyard. And because Promethean Princess does not target, it can actually revive herself.
That's
back from the
crazy.
graveyard. So like the fact that this does not target is for some reason not balanced at all. And then she has another effect, which says if your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can target a fire monster you control and one monster your opponent controls. Not even the one that was just special summoned. That's the trigger condition for you to trigger her effect.
Yes.
It can target any monster your opponent side of the field, destroy them, which means even if one of the target leaves the field, so like if the monster you target on your side of the field leaves, or if the target on your opponent's side of the field leaves, it will still summon itself because it resolves as much as possible, and it says them, which implies one or more, to bring yourself back.
That's crazy.
And for some reason, usually when monsters are brought back from the graveyard, right, historically, we've seen them get banished. Like Jet Synchron, for example, when you activate the effect of Jet Synchron to revive itself back from the graveyard, what happens when it leaves the field? It gets banished.
Yes.
Promethean Princess, for some reason, does not leave the field. So this card comes back every single turn.
That's true.
Infinite loop.
That's true.
It's so crazy.
That's true. That's actually so true.
Like, hey, man. I don't know who printed these cards in Konami, but they must really love fire monsters. And hey, I'm here for it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. You know?
Yo, now I understand why you say that. You know, if you're not playing a fire deck, then like you're trolling, like for jokes.
Yeah, yes. Like it's just so absurd. Like that card is insane. And you'll see that like because of Promethean Princess's lock, we get to see some really cool innovation in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is my favorite part, where we start using non-conventional extra deck cards, right? So cards like Ambler Whale, cards like Raging Phoenix and Salamangreats, right?
Yes.
Are gonna start seeing some play now because of her restriction, right? Because you need to put her, like, you need to link her off.
Yeah.
Cards like Sunlight Wolf is gonna see play again, right? Because it's generic 2 fires. So I think that's like the really cool part where like from a card design perspective, we get to see like this really, really powerful card. Not really restrictive summoning condition, and not really restrictive summoning card at all. Like get other really, really cool cards that we normally don't see back into play. So I think that's like gonna be nice to see, you know. Like imagine summoning a whale in 2024. Like who would have thought, right?
That's crazy, bro. Everything changing with a Fire Nation attack, bro, and it's about to be a Fire Nation, literally. For Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG 2000.
Zuko. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
El Paco, El Zuko.
Okay, so, all right, okay, bro. So, you mentioned a key point with Prometheans, like the princess. You know, when they pop a fire monster you control, it pops a fire you control, right? And she comes back, pops a card. So, like, bro, how does this mesh with Fire Kings? Well, that's crazy.
So, Fire Kings have a new card out of the structure decks called Garunix, right? Not the original Garunix. It has a new Garunix that just got released. It's basically the main deck boss monsters, and I really like when archetypes have main deck boss monsters, right? You know, like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is a really good example of that, because you know, let's say you're locked out of the extra deck somehow. The fact that you have an in-engine, in-archetype boss monster in the main deck means that no matter how you're locked, you still have some way to get access to your engine. The bird's effect, a big bird as I call it, has a really insane effect that says whenever a fire monster you control is destroyed by battle, card effect, you can summon this card from the hand or graveyard.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And so Promethean Princess is one of those cards that can trigger Garunix to summon itself back on your opponent's turn. And then Garunix effect allows you to destroy any fire beast, beast warrior, wing beast from your deck, hand or field. And typically you pop cards like Kirin, which is also a new card that just got released, to interact to like pop one of your opponent's monsters and then revive back a Fire King monster, right? So what you've noticed here is that when I talked a little bit earlier about how like your hand, your graveyard is another extension of your hand. This is like a really prime example of that, and we've seen that with like decks like Tier Elements too, right? Like Orcus, for instance. So your interactions with your opponents are super layered. Like you have on-field interactions, right? With like, let's say IP, SP. You have graveyard interactions with like the princess. You have like hand interactions with like hand traps, like Ash Blossoms, right? Like Veilers. So when your opponent's playing through the board, it may not look intimidating at first, but then you'll quickly find out it like devolves into like 7 interactions on your opponent's turn, and they get quickly overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like Unchained, where like you make this board, your opponent's looking at like, that's it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like you just like, literally put up like 5-6 interactions, and your opponent's like doesn't have enough cards to push through it. So, yeah.
Wow. So guys, you know, Snake Eyes with Fire Kings is definitely the new goo. All right, so you know, that's us covering some of the main cards right here that's coming out of Phantom Nightmare and how it meshes with some of the cards in Maze of Millennia and also with the Fire King structure deck. So Pak, you would say that confidently that Fire King Snake Eyes is one of the best decks for sure next format. Like it's gonna be the most popular deck.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a really popular deck and a really strong deck. I am personally myself like also and gravitating towards this deck just because of how strong the engine is.
Yes.
And I typically like decks with strong engines. I think those are typically a good recipe for success within Yu-Gi-Oh. As long as you play a deck with strong engine, like that is like, you know, a big bonus, right? Because I think like it doesn't need to, like other decks that have weaker engines needs to like put 15, 18 non-hand traps in to try and compete in the metagame. But
Yes.
when your deck has a strong engine, it typically means that it's able to go first or second, you know, regardless of the dice roll, which I think is important.
Guys, so that's us covering some of the main cards. Let's get started with the deck profile on this new Snake Eyes deck, which you guys are going to be able to get tomorrow at the sneak peek or next week on the official release. We'll go through you guys the deck profile, some card choices that we decided to actually, you know, pick for this specific version of the deck. Remember guys, the format is still fresh, still new. Just use this as a base template of what you guys are going to build in the future, right? So let's get started with the deck profile, bro. Let's do it.
We're gonna break the deck down into 3 components. First, the Snake Eye engine, and then the Fire King engine, and then non-engine, like, you know, hand traps and all that good stuff. I think this is a really good way to kind of like give you the best overview of what to expect, right? So let's start off with the Snake Eye engine, right?
So
3, honestly, one of the best normal summons in the game right now. 3 Snake Eye Ash. This card allows you to add a level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand, and your main target is typically going to be Populous. And we mentioned already that Populous is a free summon from the hand when it's added from your deck to your hand.
yes, sorry.
Yeah, that card is crazy. Snake Eye Ash has a second effect, which allows you to send itself and a copy of another face-up card you control to the graveyard to summon another Snake Eye monster from your deck. And now we're going to be summoning the Snake Eye Flameberg Dragon. One of the effects that we talked about was Populous's effect, allowing you to put a fire monster in the spell and trap zone. Snake Eye Ash is able to take advantage of the free card economy you get from Snake Eye Populous's effect to send itself and the Populous in the spell and trap zone in order to tag out into the Flamer Dragon, right? So that's where the synergy kind of lies. Another really cool, I'm gonna give you some dark secrets about the deck, is that Populous doesn't have to target itself to put it in the spell and trap zone. You can actually put the Flamer Dragon in the spell and trap zone,
yes.
and then recycle the effect of Flamer Dragon to essentially, I call it the fire block dragon, pretty much, right? Like it brings back 2 level 1s every single turn. So that's kind of like some cool synergy with the deck.
All right, of course, and ways to get to these guys right here. So basically, you just want to get access to Snake Eye Ash, right? Ash gets Populous summon itself, and then you got a full combo. So this card alone is full combo, Pak.
Yes, it's full combo. Populous is also full combo. And if you're level 1 fire monster, it's basically just full combo. And then we play all the ways to full combo, right? Which is, the beautiful quarter-century Black Witch, the baddie.
The baddie, okay, she's amazing.
And then you play all the spells that search her, which, you know, gets access to original, right? So we're basically playing all the ways to original, which is ways to Snake Eye Ash. And so that's kind of like the main point of like this engine, right? Also, obviously, if you draw Wanted, it's a little bit nicer because you get a free draw, which is always like clean. But the Witch has really good synergy because it can send any card from the field or hand to the graveyard, which includes spell and trap card zone. So you can send Populous from the spell and trap card zone. So let's say you normal summon Populous, it gets stopped by Veiler. You can make Karibo, put Populous in the spell and trap zone, then use the Witch to send the Populous from the spell and trap zone, and still guarantee ways to original even after Populous gets stopped, which, if you guys haven't noticed already, it's going to be quite hard to hand trap this deck because of how many ways they have, how many ways they have to start to get original, and how many ways they have to extend to get original.
Oh,
and
you're right.
We're going to talk, and now we're going to talk about like the best search cards, which is going to be Bonfire, which gets you either Snake Eye Ash if you need the starter, or Populous if you need the extender, right? So we've all know how broken search cards are. I mean, Reinforcement of the Army, you know, one of my favorite cards getting Connector, but Bonfire is like everything. A starter, extender, it's exactly what you want in a card. So and all these cards you see right here have that role, and there's not a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh that has that role where they fill both starter and extender requirements, but all of it here fulfills that purpose, and that's why I really like the deck.
So right here is the core base on what you need to play when it comes to Snake Eyes. Fire King, 3 Bonfire, 3 Wanted, the original Dial Bell Star, 3 Snake Eye Ash, 3 Snake Eyes Populous, and of course the Snake Eye Flamberg Dragon. So this is Snake Eye engine, Pak. Would you change anything here at the moment?
At the moment, there's a bunch of other tech cards you could play, but they're not really like optimal draws per se. So I'm just trying to give you the clean, concise list, and then if you like to add tech cards in later, like maybe Snake Eye Oak, then you know that's something that you can do in your spare time for sure. But I would say at the moment, like this is like the clean list. Like I'm trying to minimize all the garnets. You know, this is what it is, right? All right, we got the Fire Kings. Of course, we got to start off with my boy. Sam already has it on the screen. 3 Kieran, aka Shavara. You know, Shavara went to 1, but Kieran's at 3.
Yeah.
So Kieran has an absurd effect. It allows you to, quick effect during the main phase, destroy a fire monster in the hand or field non-targeting. That don't know why these cards don't target. And summon itself from the hand. So if you start off with normal summon Ash, and your opponent tries to, you know, be a little fancy, hit you with the imperm, just chain Kieran, dodge it. And then Snake Eye Ash resolves, gets you Populous, summon Populous, GG.
Bro, bro, the fact that Kieran doesn't have to destroy a Fire King monster is ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't have to destroy a Fire King monster. It's any fire.
It's any fire.
That's very synergistic.
It's actually crazy. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Card is insane. So 3 Kieran, of course, your boy right here.
And then 2 Garunics. I've seen some people like maybe try to cut down to 1, but I think 2 is a solid number because of the fact that if you get one of its SP Little Knighted, it's really hard not having a second one, or it's really tough. So
that's
like
true.
2. It's not even the worst draw because you can pitch it off like Witch and put it in the graveyard, but its effect's really strong. It's able to trigger, whether it's in the hand or the graveyard, to summon itself whenever a fire monster gets destroyed, right? So you have a bunch of ways to destroy. You have Kieran on destroying all your monsters, and you'll see that we play Fire King cards that also destroys your own cards to trigger the Garunics.
So Onyx, we got Onyx right here.
Yeah, 1 little bird. I know some people historically were playing 3, and I played 3 as well before the new structure deck cards, before the new support came out. But I think it's only mainly a 1-of now. You really want to start your entire combo lines with like Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Populous. So Ponix is the 1-of. It's a card that you're going to use original to summon when everything else resolves, right? So I think 1 is a solid number as a result. And 1 Orvada. This card is a card that I know people have been thinking about cutting, but it's really, really strong because of the versatility that it offers, because it's a combo piece.
Yeah,
so like when you go first, you want to use Garunix to destroy the Orvada to bring back Ponix, and then on your opponent's turn, you want to use Garunix to destroy Kieran, which allows you to bring back Orvada and have an extra monster negate. Orvada, for some reason, similar to Kieran, does not need to pop a Fire King monster to negate a monster effect. You can actually pop any fire monster. So it's really, really strong. Sometimes you open like Wanted plus like Orvada, and you can like full combo while playing through hand traps, right? So like that card's really, really good too. But like I said, you want to. It's not an ideal normal summon, but if you need to, you can. Oh, we got the islands, and we also have sanctuaries, which gets you access to islands. I mean, this is like insane because Fire King Island allows you to destroy any fire monster. So, you know, if you get stopped on Ash, you can maybe pop it and get Garunix. And if you already have access to Garunix, which is why playing 2 is not even that bad, you can use Island to add Kieran, right? So, the field spells are just really, really nice because it kind of like is what bridges the Fire King engine and the Snake Eye engine together. It's so funny because like typically, like, you know, playing cards like Fire King Island seems like such a huge detriment because if it leaves the field, it nukes your whole board. But all of your interactions are mainly in the graveyard, so if your board gets nuked off island, it does not matter, right? Your cards like Amble Whale floats, your cards like Flamer Dragon floats. It triggers Garunix. You have Princess in the graveyard still. Like, it just doesn't matter at all. And of course, the last card, the Skyburn. It's like the utility non-engine. You can play Skyburn. You could play Circle of the Fire King. You know, it just gives you some versatility because when you already have access to Fire King Island and Sanctuary, you need another target for Ponix to add, right? So having that option in order to add like a second target for like situations that you know, maybe you're going second, you're trying to break the boards, right? Like having Skyburn is like really nice. So that's, I think, a good example of that. 13 flex spots. So I have a rule when I deck build. I call it the 7-3 rule, and it's basically that for every 3 engine cards you play 3 non-engine. And when you you know, do the quick math, that means you have 28 engine cards, allows you for, you know, 12 non-engine. But in this case, we have 27 engine cards, so we have 13 non-engine. Yeah, we're just gonna slam down all the hand traps, guys. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, most of the meta decks, most of the strong meta decks has not only a strong engine, but also a lot of room to fit in utility and tech cards for the meta game. And the fact that this deck has 13 is absolutely insane, right? So it's able to combat against any deck, and I think that having this flexibility in like playing non-engine as well is like really good. You can change this as the meta changes, but I do think cards like Imperm and Veil are really strong right now because you need to like negate the Ash, because if you Ash, like if you Ash Snake Eye Ash, it still has the ability to tag out into Flamebreak Dragon or Oak or Populous and all that good stuff. So you really need to just like Imperm and make sure it's like fully negated.
True. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's go on to the extra deck, Pak.
Yeah, we'll start with the Xyz. We have Eternity Garunix, which is a Regeki, and we have Typhon. Eternity Garunix comes up with Sanctuary's secret hidden ability, which allows you to quick XYZ on your opponent's turn with 2 level 8s, or Fire King monsters, I would say. And then you have Typhon, which is like just a really good out to like, you know, any board going second, because everyone accesses the extra deck. Then we have SP Little Knight. I mean, there's not much to say about this. The deck, like I said, is not ever really Firelock, so it's just a generic Link 2 that can out your opponent's Garunix in the mirror even, so it's really good. Then we're gonna play the 2 Charmers, Dark and Hida. You might be wondering, why are we playing Dark in a Fire King deck, right?
I know why.
The fact that all of your level 1s can translate into a Link Karibo allows you to pretty much always have Dark access. And one of the coolest parts about the deck is that if your opponent, let's say you're playing the mirror match, you can dark your opponent's Black Witch and then trigger their Black Witch to set your own original.
That's
so
crazy.
Even if you get stopped on cards like Snake Eye Ash, you can convert it to a Karibo, use any extender in your hand to like convert it to a Witch, and then take your opponent's Witch and then get their effects. Celine, because you play a bunch of spellcasters, Veiler, Droll, Black Witch. IP Masquerade because it's part of your end board. You have Sunlight Wolf in order to recycle back Kirin's to your hand and any other fire monsters you would like. Heat Soul because you can convert a Link Karibo and a Sunlight Wolf into a Heat Soul to draw you more cards. You have Appaloosa, which is, you know, I mean, it's Appaloosa, you know what I'm saying? Like extra deck 4 negates. You have Zelantis, which comes up for the OTK line. It's also really nice at triggering your own princess. So that's going to be, the Zelantis is going to be utilized with the Raging Phoenix in order to kill your opponent through like 5-6 bodies, because you get 3 pops and like 10,000 points of damage. You have Promethean Princess, you know, need I say more? Like, she's just, you know, non-target reborn, interruption on your opponent's turn, everything you want in a Link monster. And then we have Ambler Whale, which is going to be also part of your end board. A really cool interaction in this deck, specifically the Fire King variant, is that you can use Kirin to pop your Whale because it is a fire monster.
Yeah.
And then use Whale to bring back SP Little Knight, use Whale to bring back IP Masquerena, and then use those cards on your opponent's turn to interact with them even more. You can actually use Ambler Whale's effect to also reborn Link monsters from your opponent's graveyard, and that actually comes up when you're going second as well.
Wow.
And obviously it has another effect for no reason, where let's say you have an SP Little Knight on the board, right, that you brought back. If they try to attack over the SP Little Knight and kill it, you know, now you don't get the second effect of SP Little Knight to banish, but boo-hoo. It actually does not matter, because when your Link 3 or lower monsters are destroyed by battle or card effect while Ambler was in the grave, you can actually non-target pop a card on the field. So like them attacking the SP Little Knight actually triggers the Whale to kill the monster that attacked or anything else. So it's like super layered. It's not as easy as just entering battle phase and attacking Little Knight now, right? So it's, that card is really strong.
Wow.
And that's the X deck.
All right, Pak, let's go on with the bread and butter combo of this deck. What everybody's here for.
Oh, let's do it.
How this one card changes everything. So how are we gonna start with the combo?
Let's just start one Ash. Let's say it. Let's
One
just
Ash.
keep it simple, you know? One Ash, baby. That's all you need.
So 1 Ash is all you need. It's just access to Ash. And how many ways do we get access to Ash here in this deck? A lot.
Like you have Ash, Bonfire, Wanted, Witch, like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know what else, like Populous, like it's a bunch, you know?
Oh, so basically like this whole thing. What's the
Your
percentage
entire
of,
deck switches this card.
like what's the percentage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
We have 13. It's about 80, 86, 87% to
87?
draw one of them.
87% chance to draw one of them. 87.
Yes, and then
So you're saying
yes,
87?
and then
Saying 87% of the time that I'm having full combo.
yes, and not only that, you're 50% to draw 2 of them, and drawing 2 of those engine cards is really nice because they're just extenders, right? Remember, I said they're extenders and starters. So the fact that they fulfill 2 roles is absurd. So drawing multiples of them is like, who cares?
Wow.
Free win, you know?
And guys, obviously, the entire deck is sleeved by the best sleeves in the world. Supreme Pros. You know what I'm saying? Get it today. The link down below, tx1.com. Use the code PAC10. Right, PAC?
I heard you get a mysterious 10% off if you slam PAC10 at checkout. So definitely do that. You haven't already. I personally use these at the, you know, all the premier events I go to as well, and they feel absolutely great. You have you have the white Supreme Pros, and you also have the pink ones, and maybe some new colors on the way. You know, I'm not trying to say nothing. Maybe hypothetically.
Honestly, we're recording this in January. This video releases in February, so the pinks might be available right now. So, but I'm not too sure. Each time like I drop the pinks or the whites, they get sold out like crazy. So guys,
Yeah, they sold out, and they get mad at me. I'm just like, bro, like just use, use my code. You know what I'm saying? Just buy it already. Like, come on, like.
guys,
yeah.
these are literally the best sleeves. I worked so hard for them. You know what I'm saying? I went through multiple batches and multiple variations of them, and this is the perfect formula. You know what I'm saying? That's why Pac and Jesse and everybody endorses these sleeves and promotes them, because they're the real deal. And you guys get bundles, bro.
Of course.
Save more, get the bundles, right, Pac? Get the bundles.
Oh, just get the 30 pack, guys. I'll save you some time. You're gonna want more, so just get the 30 bundle. Use pack 10. It goes to 180. It's $6 a sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Quick.
Free
math.
shipping, free shipping, free shipping over 100. Yeah, you guys get free shipping.
No more summon Ash.
I think-
Ash gets you Populous.
Oh no. Oh.
Populous. Well, Populous effect. Summon itself from the hand for free.
Oh, Joel.
Oh, freebie.
Joel.
Oh, Joel. Oh, we can do the combo with Joel too. That won't matter.
No. Wait. No, bring the kid. No, the kid. Okay, let's do the combo. Let's do the combo uninterrupted. And Pac, I know on Monday you have a masterclass that's happening.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
will release every combo through every hand trap imaginable to mankind. Like it's actually not fair. I actually don't even want to release this masterclass. Like I feel like I might not even top now, because everyone's gonna know the secret, the dark arts, you know, the secrets.
guys, Pac has a masterclass, which will be literally linked in the description box below. For you guys to learn everything about this deck. Obviously, we're showcasing you guys one combo, but the rest, obviously, the video is really long now. So obviously, I don't want to have this video 3-4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, I'll showcase better button combo and anything in depth, technical plays, intros, everything you need to learn about the deck, how to play through hand traps, every combo possible. I know Pac's been working really hard on trying to make you guys understand why it's important to properly know how to play this deck. Because
Yep.
tell you right now, if you're not, I'm telling you, if you guys want to be good Yu-Gi-Oh players, like, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm trying to do, like, don't spend $1,000 on your deck. Like, for example, don't be spending $1,000 on your deck or $500 on your deck and not knowing what your deck does. Getting a coach definitely helps. And I know Pac is very thorough, very detailed when it comes to this, because, you know, he has taught me a lot. So
In the masterclass, Sam and I have partnered together to, make it a little bit spicy for you. Anyone who enters the masterclass will also be included in a raffle to win a case of Supreme Pros for your use. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm assuming if you're booking for this, you want to do well at the tournaments. Why not do it in style with some of the best sleeves in the game, right? So you guys already know. Definitely don't forget that when you sign up, you'll automatically be entered in a raffle, and I'll hit you up when you win. So
yo, guys,
see you there.
Free case Supreme Pros, best sleeves in the world. I got you.
Yes, sir.
I got you guys. It's a
Exactly.
it's free case, and it's gonna be crazy. But anyways, search Populous.
Yes, sir. We're gonna trigger Populous now to summon itself from the hand for free, and then trigger its effect to add a Snake Eyes Spell and Trap, which in this case is going to be the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eyes, right? So that gets you the spell directly to your hand for free, literally free. And now we're gonna convert the Populous into a Link Karibo, which allows you to activate Populous effect, putting itself in the spell trap zone. Because you don't want to original away one of the monsters on the board, because you want free advantage, right? So now you can use original to sack the Populous and get free value out of the spell and trap card zone to summon the boy Ponix, right?
Wow.
Ponix then activates its effect to add you a Sanctuary from your deck to your hand. Yes, sir. And then now we're gonna activate Sanctuary, which gets you access to Island, right?
You want to get a Fire King Island? Or...
Yes, we're gonna get the Fire King Island now as a result of Sanctuary. And if you've noticed, we're now at if you look at the game state win, we have Island in play, we have Snake Eye Ash, we have Karibo, we have Ponix, right? So what would you want it to do next is to activate Ash's effect to send itself for cost and the Sanctuary to summon Flameberg Dragon. And then that is going to be super strong, and you'll see why. Okay, because remember how earlier in the video I called Flameberg Dragon essentially like block dragon for fire monsters?
Yes, sir.
Well, when this card hits the graveyard from the hand or field to the grave, you're able to soul charge 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard, also non-targeting for no reason. And then we're gonna activate the effect of Fire King Island now to destroy our Ponix. And that's going to search us a copy of our Garunix from our deck to our hand. Garunix effect is then going to trigger to summon itself from the hand because the fire monster you control was destroyed. And then we're going to trigger Garunix's effect to destroy a Arvada from the deck, right? And this is why I play the one Arvada, because of its utility here. We're then going to trigger Arvada's effect to bring back and target the Ponix, summoning it back from the graveyard. We're then gonna link off the Karibo, the Ponix, and the Garunix into a Promethean Princess. Oh no, we're gonna keep the Flamebearer on the board. You'll see soon. Yep.
Damn. Okay.
That's gonna make a Princess. Okay. The Princess will then activate its effect to summon back your Arvada in the monster zone. And Arvada, keep in mind, is able to negate any monster effects. So if your opponent for some reason held hand traps all the way through, you have Arvada to negate by destroying any of your fire monsters on the board, right?
That's crazy.
And now you can convert the Flameberg Dragon. Before you actually link off, one of the coolest part about Flameberg Dragon is that you can target a monster on the field or the graveyard, either players, and put them in the spell and trap zone for free, pretty much. So I would actually just use Flameberg Dragon here and then put like a, I don't know, maybe like a Snake Eye Ash in the spell and trap zone for free. It's like actually kind of nice to do this because now your opponent can't like Hita that card, right? So it's like kind of nice.
True.
And now we're gonna make a, we're gonna use the Flameberg Dragon and we're gonna use the Promethean Princess. We're gonna link that off into the Sunlight Wolf.
Sunlight Wolf.
Yes.
Holy. Damn.
Yes. Yep. And then now we're gonna trigger Flameberg Dragon's effect to bring back 2 level 1s. Okay. So here, we can bring back like Ponix, and then we can bring back Snake Eye Populous. Yep. And then we're gonna trigger the effect of trigger the effect of Sunlight Wolf to add the Flameberg Dragon back to your hand. The reason why this is really important is because Arvada, remember, can destroy any fire monster on the board or hand. So on your opponent's turn, when you use Arvada to negate, you're gonna pop the Flameberg and bring back 2 more level 1s.
That's crazy.
On their turn.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So now, what we're gonna do is, so there's a bunch of, so when we're in this position, there's a bunch of alternate lines you can go for. Okay, so I can quickly explain all of them. The first line you can go for is to activate Karibo's effect in the graveyard to tribute one of your level 1 monsters, and then make Heat Soul with Karibo and Sunlight. Okay.
Yes.
Draw a card and then make Appaloosa. Okay. The other line that I personally have been going for that I like the best is to make SP. I mean, sorry, not SP. IP with Populous and Ponix. And make an IP under Sunlight Wolf, and then just pass on this. And like I said, the board looks abysmal, right?
Yeah,
it looks terrible.
Looks weak. It's like it's not Savage, Baron. It's not Dispatter.
Yeah.
It's not SP. It looks weak as hell, bro.
Yeah, but then you'll quickly realize this. Let's say when you link off the Ponix and the Populous into an IP Masquerena, and then you pass your opponent, right? Your opponent's probably thinking like, man, this board's kind of light. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of light work. Well, it's a couple issues, okay? The first thing is the moment your opponent activates any monster effect, you can activate Flameberg Dragon's effect, activate Arvada's effect to destroy the Flameberg in your hand.
Okay, so this is your end board, so now we pass turn. Okay?
Yeah, we pass turn to our opponents, yep.
Okay, so now they try to activate an effect.
Yeah, let's say they activate a monster effect, you're going to activate Arvada to negate and then destroy the Flameberg in your hand. And then we're going to trigger Flameberg's effect on Resolution, which will bring you back the Ponix, and it will bring you back the Populous.
Yes.
Yeah. And then now we can trigger the effect of Ponix to get us follow-up for next turn.
So we'll get Sanctuary.
Sanctuary, exactly. Yep. You can also get Skybird in this position, but Sanctuary is a pretty good card to add. And then you can then activate the effect of IP Masquerena, like whenever you need to use itself and the Ponix to make SP Little Knight, right?
Wow.
Then, yeah, so now you have, so this is your second interruption here, right? So second interruption is coming down now on the SP. We're going to trigger the effect of Sunlight Wolf to add back a fire monster, and then SP to banish one of our opponent's monsters, right? So typically what I like to do here is I like adding the Flameberg Dragon back to my hand for next turn, right? So now like I'm going to keep looping Flameberg Dragon as much as possible, right? And SP is going to banish one of my opponent's monsters.
So that's 2 interruptions so far.
Then that's 2 interruptions, right? Now let's say your opponent gets a little, they get a little
cute,
frisky.
A little cute.
A little cute.
Yeah.
So obviously we have SP to chain to banish one of our opponent's monsters, so we can count that as 3 if you like.
3 interruptions, yep.
And somehow, if they keep extending after these 3 interruptions, and they summon a special, because they already commit their normal at this point, right? And the only thing they can do now is special summon. Let's say they slam a Dark Witch down from their hand. You can then activate the Princess's effect in the graveyard to pop the Arvada.
Oh, I see.
And then as Chainlink 1, and then as Chainlink 2, you chain Karibo here to tribute the Populous. Because
Oh.
the moment you have a Promethean Princess on the board, you're fire locked. So you're gonna chain Karibo as chilling 2, put the Karibo on the board because you're not fire locked yet, and then the Promethean Princess summon itself back, and then it's gonna destroy the Arvada and one of your opponent's monsters. And then now on resolution, you can go chain link 1 Garunix, and chain link 2 Arvada, to bring back the Ponix.
Wow.
So you're gonna summon a Ponix, and then we're gonna summon Garunix. And so that's 4 interruptions. And then we're going to go Garunix's effect to destroy a fire beast, wing beast. And it's going to be Kieran. And then we're going to go Kieran effect to summon back the Arvada and then pop one of our opponent's monsters. So this is like 5 interruptions.
1 card.
And 1 card, and we have a lot of follow-up. Like I'm talking about like...
This is crazy.
They have to kill you through these 5 interruptions.
How do you beat this? Yeah, 1 card, and let's say your other 4 cards are all hand traps. Like how do they win?
They lost. Like this is G, bro. And like at end phase, what's really crazy is you resolve Arvada's effect, which destroys the Ponix, because whatever you bring back Arvada gets destroyed. Ponix dies, and that's really important because now next turn you can add it back to your hand. Your SP Lone Knight comes back as well. It returns. It doesn't summon back, so even though you're fire locked at the moment because of Promethean Princess, the SP Lone Knight can still return. But obviously you would want to resolve, because you have multiple phases or phase triggers that are happening, you can choose whatever order you resolve them in. So you resolve Arvada to kill your Ponix first, then you resolve SP to bring yourself back, right?
Wow.
I mean, bro, you have, if I'm counting correctly, you have a Link 2, a Link 1, another Link 2, a Link 3, Arvada, which negates a top deck Nibiru somehow. Garunix on the board. Bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to scoop now or they want to scoop later?
That is crazy.
Like, it's really hard to beat this. It's really hard to beat. It's like super late. You see what I'm saying? It's like an Unchained deck.
Yeah, it's
like,
layered interruptions.
Super late interruptions. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the next turn you have to link off the princess. So like that's why you play cards like Flameberg. I'm sorry, not Flameberg. I'm sorry. You play cards like the Whale, because the Whale is a generic 4 that you can link the Whale off into. Yeah.
Wow. So 1 card, 5 interruptions is absolutely ridiculous. And wow. Yo, this is gonna be a technical format, Pac. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a technical.
It's very technical, yeah. And that's just one of the combos. There's, by the way, normal summon Ash I think has like 10 different combo lines. There's 10 different variations, deviations that you can take with just one normal summon Ash, because of how much that card does. Like there's so many deviations and variations, and I'm just showing you one of them. This is like only this is like honestly one of the better surface level combos I've showed you. But it gets even crazier after this, because there's ways to play around every hand trap.
All right, Pac. Holy smokes, that was insane, bro. Honestly, guys, this is the deck I'm looking forward to play in this upcoming format. If you're not playing a fire deck, what are you doing? And I'm most excited about the masterclass that's gonna be happening on February 5th, which is of course Monday, where Pac, you're gonna teach not only me but a bunch of students how to properly play this deck.
Yep.
Yeah. In 2024, we can't be a bows. You know what I'm saying?
So in the masterclass, I'm gonna be covering the top 3 decks that utilizes this engine the best. I'm gonna talk about some like tech choices that I thought about as I've been testing this deck nonstop. I'm also gonna be talking about like the technical play involving this deck, because the combos lines very much deviate depending on what you want to play around, and also want to talk about like, if you were to play this deck, like what are some things that you should be paying attention to, right? Like some cool tips and tricks, like the ones I even talked about in Sam's video, for example. So all of this is, accumulated together to give you the best chance at doing well with this deck in the upcoming format, right? So that's kind of like the whole idea of the masterclass, is to make you just hopefully, if not as good or even better than me with this deck at the end of the session.
Yeah, so coming out of that class, we want you guys to be a better player. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I will.
Yep.
And it's a 2-hour masterclass, right? 2 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 hours, and I usually leave the last 30 minutes. Like, it's never actually like a full 2 hours, and we just hard stop and I just peace out and see you later. It's more like we finish the 2 hours. I leave about 30 minutes at the end to answer any burning questions you may have, and I always make sure I answer every single question, just to make sure that you come out like at least making sure that if there's any uncertainty, you can always ask them. And the Discord that this will be held on, which you'll automatically get a link to once you purchase the masterclass, will also have a bunch of tools, resources, spreadsheets, all that stuff that, in case you have a bad memory, like you can always reference back to as
That's
well.
insane.
So
wow.
Yep.
All right, guys, I'm excited. I'll see you guys all on Monday for the masterclass. Pac, thank you so much for going over the next best thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! And guys, be prepared, or else I'll see you guys at Table 500. Well, not me.
Sir, you,
Not me. Not me.
you know what I'm saying?
No. Like
we'll be
I'll
at the
like
top
I'll
cut
like
table, I'm saying, in
like
Vegas.
I'll walk past you and I'll say what's up. But you know what I'm saying? That's it. But I'm not gonna see you there. I'm just gonna wave at you. All right. Peace.
Peace.